Hey guys, what's going on? Jay Ambition here with another episode from the Outer Worlds. Today we are going to start the main quest line called Comes Now the Power. It's like Yoda saying the mission name. We need to go to Adelaide, which is the deserter camp, and deliver Reed's message that he wants to turn off the power from their camp and send it to Edgewater, which in hope he wants to then send all the deserters back to Edgewater. So that is where we're at. We completed a handful of, no pun intended, with fistful of digits, of missions last episode, and I think we're ready to do the main storyline. One thing I did want to do though is looking at my inventory. You can see that a lot of my weapons are starting to wear down, especially my hunting rifle. So if you hold R, you can repair all equipped, and it'll tell you how many weapon parts and armor parts you need to fix everything. And we're going to do that because it does affect your damage once it gets worn down pretty far. So we did that. I wouldn't mind also going to a workbench first before we head out. Upgrading some of our weapons, maybe? Parvati had a workbench, I think, in her garage. Let's see if we can't find her garage open. As you can see too, I did put the plasma cutter in my one slot for my melee weapon. Took away the grenade launcher for now. To install your first mod, first select the item you wish to upgrade, then choose what type of mod you wish to install. Scope, armor, plating. Finally pick the mod to install and boom, you're upgraded your item. Both weapons and armor can be modified. Mods can't be removed once they're used, so put them on your favorite gear. Jock weapons are built for discerning warrior who wants a custom and personalized weapon just like everyone else. Well, I think that's a slogan. Okay. So one thing I want to modify is my hunting rifle for sure. I use it to enter battle pretty much every time. Magnum will increase the magnum size, or the magazine size. I can change it to shock damage. And I can change it to plasma damage. The damage goes up, you can see on the right side. Overall DPS, damage per second, damage per minute, plasma type damage. I just can't remember what it benefits the most, like what kind of enemy. Electrical might be better against machines, I think, and plasma's better for humans and beasts. But I might just keep it the same for now, but it's always nice to have more bullets. So let's install the Magnum. And then we can click up here and put a better scope on, I think. Although it already has an extendo sight, so I can't really change anything there. So that's it, really, for the hunting rifle. But we can also tinker, which basically means level it up for only 50 bits. That's worth it. Do it again for 100 bits. Do it again for 183 bits. 325, we're getting up there. Pretty expensive, but let's do it. And we'll stop there, because who knows, I might find another weapon. But you can actually see there's a weapon level, I believe. Level 6, right there in the middle. Top middle. Tactical shotgun, let's upgrade that. 130, 240. All reliable. Definitely gonna upgrade this a lot. I think we're gonna keep this for a while. 216, I'll do that. 391, I'll even do that. 756, I think I'm gonna hold off on that. Plasma cutter, we can do a little bit. I haven't even used this weapon yet. Stop at that. Let's see if we can't modify the reliable. It's not gonna let us. Dang, okay. What about the tactical shotgun? Fun times barrel, critical damage plus 25. You can put a muzzler on the shotgun. I'd like to put that on my hunting rifle, but it doesn't look like it allowed me to previously. Noise range, okay. Critical damage. Let's go over the critical damage. I mean, if I'm going in guns blazing with a shotgun, I'm not really worried about being quiet. And then we can put some kind of sight on there, I'm guessing. Oh, mag size, that's huge. Zap damage, plasma damage. Let's do mag size. I'm not sure about the damage types yet. I'm going to look into that. That's it. Let's repair everything, I think. Oh, that's a grenade launcher. Let's see how much it is. It didn't tell me how many it took. Just repaired it. Maybe you don't need anything at a station. That'd be kind of cool. Repair this item. Oh, maybe it showed it on the right-hand side and I didn't see that. That's okay. I'm still going to keep the plasma rifle and the shot cannon for now. Which is kind of cool because now I have two weapons with different damage types. And then the grenade launcher I'll keep as well. Oh, I should probably look at my armor. Although I really don't know if my armor is good or not. Worth upgrading. Let's see what I can put on my purple armor. Toughened. Physical armor rating +3. Let's do it. No gadget. Skill kit. Ranged weapon +5. That'd be nice. Dialogue skills. Melee weapon and defense skills. Melee weapon and defense skills. Interesting. Let's go defense skills. It is armor, after all. Backpack carrying capacity +20. Dodge distance. I don't dodge a lot yet though. Nightingale. You can step quieter. The problem is if I put all this stuff on this armor, I need to keep it for a while. Let's do it though. I'll just make it sick. Hopefully it lasts. So let's tinker the armor. Upgrade this armor a lot. Just invested a lot of upgrades on it. Ooh, achievement. Tinkered items can be no greater than 5 levels above your own. Increase your character level to tinker this item. Okay. Let's do the helmet as well. I'm not going to pay 412 for that. But let's modify the helmet. Can't. Okay. That's it. I think that's going to help overall though, especially on the main quest line.
Been eating nothing but salt tuna for a year.
Let's find the deserters then. Sounds pretty badass when you pull out the plasma. I'm not even going the right way. Fail. Trino.
I used to skip rocks in the river until Constable Reyes ticketed me for unlicensed terraforming.
Damn it, Constable
Where are we
Reyes.
headed?
I want to hear more about you skipping rocks in the river, man. Down by the river. Is this the same cave we went to before? Gotta check it out now. Must be though, right? Yeah, with the book. Guess we've checked that out before. Botanical lab, what is this? Oh, community center, okay, we went there. Is that a slug? slug snake. Okay. What do we have here?
Eyes up! Down they go!
Oh, you're a big one.
That's the last of them.
Oh, you're big. You got a lot of stuff. Holy crap. Mr. N, damage type N ray. What? Break that down. Man, I feel bad. They're just eating dinner. Eating some pâté. Took out some marauders for me. I'm on my F key game today. I'm not gonna miss one time. That looks like a generation plan if I've ever seen one. Probably where you gotta go after. Talk to the deserters at the botanical lab. It's pretty nice. I have 9 shots with this now since I did the magazine upgrade. That is very nice. I've been through this city before, haven't I? Oh, I gotta look now. No, I gotta look. Yeah, the door's open. We're good. We're Gucci. We're Gucci. Riot control helmet. 7 armor. Not gonna do it. Heavy ammo. I like it. A bunch of stuff over there. I know my mission's right there, but Mr. Sidetrack, so. I already destroyed everything over here? Let's go check it out. I think I've been here. Alright. To the botanical. Grace Romero's
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
How rude. Think about that.
I don't know you. Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
What's your problem?
Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another. Got anything in you besides questions? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
Most likely. Actually, Zoe is that girl we found at the Marauder camp who thought she was the queen of pirates, basically. Yeah, right? Okay, there we go.
Thank the Eternal. Wait, Marauder camp. Is she all right?
You mean the head, or she's become one of them, calls herself the Queen of Marauders.
Queen of the Marauders, huh? That's what comes of watching serials. Rots your gray. If you could bring her home, I'd be obliged. And if you could cross off some Marauders on the way, I'd be much obliged.
What do I owe you, Grace Romero?
I'll tell you what well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does.
Stefan.
She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. What is it? Over in the hothouse, tending crop.
Good day to you. I said good day. Let's see what I can steal. Oh, I don't want to sleep. I was trying to read that. Thought the book was called Sleep. Silly Billy. Stefan. Garcia. Was that her last name? Romero. It's both very Latin.
You hungry? We got canid ribs, canid flank, canid snout too. Something I can help you with?
What's on your mouth?
You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off. Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
I'm an investigator.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked Marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her.
Did you?
The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day.
Entice her back with a copy of a magazine.
Not much of a chance, no. Mind if I ask why you're interested? Zoe's living with marauders? Yeah, that sounds like the sort of sideways, sprat-brained plan Zoe'd come up with. Yeah, could be you're telling the truth. Or maybe you're trying to wheedle me into relinquishing my only copy of The Masked Marketeer. It's a collector's edition after all.
You got it. I have a convention coming up and I just want to show it off. Said she was angry at you.
Yeah, you're probably right. A true fan would have displayed a gleam in their eye upon hearing the words collector's edition. Here you go. Latest copy of The Masked Marketeer. Tell Zoe we're all waiting on her. I'll help if I can. Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd. Hey, fresh off the limb, and that includes canid meat.
Oh, you say caned meat. I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Toughened, fun times barrel, extendosite, and something worth 4,000. Corrosion damage. Wow, okay. Let's sell all of our junk. And sell all of our first aid stuff. Some of this may have been in the house right next to you. Don't worry about it. Why is that stealing? It's a container out in the middle of them.
Keep your wits about you, friend.
Keep your wits about you, friend. Zoe's journal, page 12. Well, it's always good to start at page 12. So that's it then. No more Edgewater for me. No more cannery. No more jumpsuits and gloves. Yes, ma'am, and would like you... Yes, ma'ams, and would you like another's? I don't know why I'm writing this down for posterity's sake, because I've always hated the cannery, and I don't think I'll ever have to look back to this journal many years hence and tell myself, oh wow, I did hate the Veil once, didn't I? Just because I got sick, everybody gets sick. Well, okay, I got sick and grabbed a little too much Adrenatime. Is that really a crime? I gotta treat myself when I'm sick, don't I? Whatever happened to personal responsibility and surviving one's own bootstraps? By one's own bootstraps. Oh, but you misappropriate one box of Adrenatime and suddenly you're committing larceny. Yeah, that's kind of how stealing works. I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't get caught, but from page 12 to page 22. Well, today's the day, Zoe. Today's the day you take your destiny in your own hands. I've been listening to Grace talk about marauder threats, bands of wild, free-spirited bandits living in camps out in the hills, warming themselves by the light of barrel fires, probably mounted the heads of their enemies on spikes as a warning to folk like me, living a life of comfort and ease, free of any rules. I bet they could take the whole region if they were organized. I've been tucking away some of Adelaide's food, and I've got some spare cans of salt tuna. Should last me a couple weeks if I ration. Got some Adrenatime too. Everybody loves Adrenatime, even Marauders, right? I got odds those Marauders will let me throw in with them if I dangle a couple syringes of Adrenatime before their eyes. This is gonna be great. Look out, Terra 2. Bandit Queen Zoe's origin story has just begun. I'm gonna have a whole gang of Marauders at my beck and call. Maybe I can even score some Rizzos. Well, I think that just confirms. Okay, can't do it. That's page 18 anyways. I already know what happens. Like reading the end of the book and then going back. We don't do it. She wants to be an outlaw. Steel poster? For sure. Okay. So basically we know why she left. Nothing back here? Nothing? Such a good hiding spot.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Says he's still looking. Just get out of here if you know what's good for you. Computer doesn't work. Ooh, pretty. Sounds like a breathing dog. Bypass that. Spacious Shores property, personal files, first entry. May the Eternal bless my first endeavor. It's been 2 days since I walked away from life at the Edgewater Cannery. Fortuitously, the old botanical labs are still operational. Mostly the soil's sour. I'll do what I can, but I'm going to need some powerful fertilizer. Tired of having the taste of salt tuna lingering on my tongue day in and day out. I want something fresh, something that grows out of the earth. We found another worker from Edgewater, ex-worker now. Desertion rates must be climbing. I'm not terribly surprised. Reached out, management has always been tyrannical. I imagine an exodus is brewing. At any rate, the worker was in a sorry state, feverish, shallow breathing, delirious, must have been plagued. I sent him right with a diet of grains. He was all better in a couple of weeks. Physically, spiritually, he's one of our flock now. So less of a disease, more of just being in a crappy environment. I'm hereby repurposing the botanical lab for its original conception as a gear in the soulless automation of the corporate machine. This greenhouse may look impressive, but like all Spacious Shores products, it is cheap and unreliable. I shall have to make some repairs with my own 2 hands. This place shall become a nursery before it was abandoned. I understand the horticulturists failed to produce a single viable crop. Something about the soil being too poor. I am determined to find a way. May the Eternal smile upon my endeavors. So basically, she's trying to turn this into a greenhouse, which is very cool. She just goes on about how bad the soil is.
Oh gosh, it's so pretty.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside. If you're bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear? I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Well, we have found Adelaide.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout.
Pulling at the
Thomas
heartstrings.
speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
Yum.
No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe, and the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice.
Very poetic.
The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer.
You use your own feces, don't you? Naughty, naughty. Reed sent me to make peace with you. Looks like you've made a home for yourself out here.
A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots.
I gotta be honest, I like her a lot more than Reed, even though she's really out there and probably had too much tobaccorn from a old spittoon. I do like her better than Reed's stuffy ass.
It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject.
Here we go.
Reed Thompson, you here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
You're living off power that belongs to the town. Come back to the cannery, that's about it. Reed asks you consider coming back to town. He's willing to make amends. Something about coming back to town and losing power. I wasn't really listening. I really don't want them to go back to town.
I can't say I blame you. Reed is positively soporific.
Ooh, soporific.
Like
Wow.
everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves. He would do such a thing. Question is, why would you agree to his plans? Cannery's
All right,
got a
later.
regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
You are a politician stuck in a grandma's body. Well, consider what have you got against the town? I'm not looking to get mixed up in your problems. I just want to fix my ship. A hero to you, maybe.
A hero to the people who matter. To us. To the ones who come around. To the ones you save. Reed will never understand. He has been too long inebriated on the wine of corporate culture. All he sees is productivity, output, profits. Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives. You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scrap Spacer's choice throws them.
So I'd argue that.
You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and
Adelaide.
still she defends them.
Pushing too hard, man. I like that. What do you have against people trying to make a living? Yeah.
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear.
Damn right. Son of a gun. Made your point clear enough. I'll see what I can do. What do you have people against trying to make a living? Well, I don't like the way they're making a living in a factory either, but...
I trust you will listen to your...
My con science has been great so far. Ooh, what's in that? Ooh, what's this? No, I'm not gonna steal this stuff. Yeah, 10 cartridges. That's not worth stealing in front of her. Chicken. You can talk to the chicken. Alright. I'm lost. Surprise, surprise. Okay, yep. So I came in here, went around there, did a big circle. There's the entrance. Let's go behind these buildings, see if there's anything hidden. No? I have a feeling we're gonna have a tough decision on our hand about where we send the power, but gotta be honest, not leaning towards taking power away from this community.
Oh, that's Thomas.
I'm not finding really any loot.
Follow me around before he left the cannery.
Oh, Thomas.
So
You got something to say about Thomas? Alright, we'll talk to Thomas about it then.
Oh, didn't see you there. I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. You're, what, how are you? Hi, hello.
are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no, I'm just along with this fella here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
Oh, Thomas, you are the male version of Parvati.
Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
Well, engineering never too late to start learning. I could give you a couple pointers.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. I found one in Parvati's dad's office, and I think I got one from community center as well already.
No kidding!
Part 1.
Look at that! Building a computing machine out of Spectrum potatoes, a primer. I'm just glad it survived all these years. I appreciate you going through all that trouble. In fact, I put aside something special on the off chance that somebody'd search out those data pads for me. Well, don't keep me in suspense.
Okay, Thomas.
Ain't that just ironical? If I'd worked a little longer back at the cannery, I might have found this myself. 2 whole data pads? Be still my beating heart. Oh, almost forgot your payment.
Nice. Nice, so there's one more out there.
Sure, I'd be glad to take them off your hands. What's on your mind? Couple months. This camp's my home. People you see milling about, they're my family. At least I think of them that way. I owe them my life. Would have died in the wilderness if they hadn't chanced upon me, starving and delirious. We all left the cannery for one reason or another. Me? I was let go, mostly on account of my incompetence.
Oh,
I mean,
poor
I
Thomas.
was incompetent. I couldn't even survive on my own. Grace found me, Adelaide took me in, I've been on my feet ever since.
You weren't incompetent. You just didn't fit the cannery. Not like here. This place had a U-shaped hole, and now it doesn't.
You could stay, you know. Here. I'd be happy to... I mean, we could really use... oh, this isn't coming out right. If you want, Adelaide would make a place for you.
I should go. That's funny. Alright guys, I think I'm at that limit for today's episode. I'm going to end it here. We will finish checking out the rest of this town, and then hopefully be on our way to the geothermal plant to push the power one way or another. This looks like the regulator right here, so thank you for joining, and we will see you next episode. Peace!